Hello, Heel Turn Podcast fanboys and fangirls. Sorry for the delay on getting these fine interviews up, but I've had some major personal issues going on in my family, stuff going on at work, and I'm sorry to say, but it's kind of hard to find time when things are that hectic going on in your life to put something up like this. So, no more excuses. You have to get this up before the end of the day today. Apologies to Bobby Fish, Shane Strickland, Tim Zbyszko, and my good friend Nicholas McGee. Yeah, just life happened, and I could not control it. But anyways, without any further ado, we have 3 great interviews for you guys. We have with us Tim Zbyszko, a great friend of the show, as well as Ring of Honor's Bobby Fish, who you can catch tonight at Final Battle. And also we have Shane Strickland, who you can also catch tonight at CZW's Cage of Death. Anyways, without any further ado, I'm going to just go right into interviews. I give you, first up, Tim Zbyszko.
Alright, ladies and gentlemen, this is our second attempt at getting this interview going. I give you Tim Zbyszko.
How you doing, everybody? Good to be here again with you. How are you today?
I'm great, man. How are you?
Doing good, doing good.
Is there anything new?
Well, it's always something new. Just out and about on the road today doing some work. Been getting back in the gym a lot, you know. That's about it for me. What about you? What's new with you?
Not a whole lot. Have to do some things with the family a little later on this afternoon.
Oh, that's not bad.
It's manual labor, so.
Oh, that's bad.
Yeah. Anyways, I heard that you won a tag team championship not too long ago.
Yes, we did. Me and my tag partner, Chico Adams, who was also my roommate and my long-term training partner, won the Riot Pro Wrestling Tag Team Championships down in Palm Bay, Florida. So we are the Riot Pro Wrestling Tag Team Champions of the world of Palm Bay, Florida.
Nice.
Yeah, not bad, right?
Any bit of notoriety is good notoriety.
Oh yeah, belts are belts, man. It's good to have the straps and everything, and you know, to represent that promotion, that area down there. So pretty thrilled about it myself.
Right. Anything new out in the world of your writing, or have you gotten back to that at all?
The writing, not so much. Been very busy with this new job I have with this company, and then I've been doing a lot of work with just wrestling. And I was in Tampa for 3 weeks training. It's pretty intensive, like Monday through Friday, 6:30 to 2:30 kind of training. So, you know, I got to keep a shoot job while I'm unsigned, making some good money. So that's what I'm doing now. So I'm just doing that whole thing. But yeah, other than that, just have a bunch of good matches coming up. Working up in Georgia this week. Got a couple matches in Orlando this month. So staying nice and busy.
Right. Okay. Now you mentioned in the text that we've been sending back and forth that you wanted to talk a little bit about your dad. I wanted to give you an opportunity to do that.
Yeah, I do appreciate the forum for allowing me to speak my mind on this. It's kind of one of those things that coming from a wrestling family is great, you know, in any regards. Just being a fan or watching your family do, you know, amazing things in the ring and performing in front of crowds. But it does come with a little bit of some added stress that people don't realize, and also the whole image or, I guess, the perception that, you know, you are just your father's son, and maybe that's the only reason you've accomplished anything. But Yeah, I got into a nice screaming match in the back with some guys I'm not going to name recently about, this and that. And we all figured things out and then sat down and talked about it for a while and kind of enlightened them to, what the real deal is. And, everybody kind of, when they sit back and realize what you really go through, and they don't really understand, it can be very hard for them. 35. And so it's, it's been kind of a tough road because people think that, everything's just handed to you, but, I spent the first year of training, basically carrying rings around. What else have I been doing? Lifting, every barrier, every ring post, every guardrail, every chair in the building.
Paying your dues.
And, yeah, exactly, paying dues, and it's one of those things that a lot of people don't realize. They think that, it must have been you just walked in, you go to training, and they didn't even charge you. And it's like, that's not true either. I made it a point to pay for my training myself. I made it a point to, go to school full time. For the first 7 months, besides carrying rings around and paying dues, I was a ring announcer, which is just like paying dues yourself because you want to be in the ring so badly, but you're not ready, at all. And so it takes time to learn and to watch and absorb and just soak in everything going on. And it's funny because people don't know that. I don't go out there and I don't make a big stink about it. And I hadn't the first 2 years I've been wrestling because I never felt like I needed to defend myself or anything like that. I was very happy and proud of the work I'd done, but I think people have this misconception about me. And then a lot of wrestlers will have children, but a lot of wrestlers were never very successful or not nearly as successful. My dad was in the business, and they think that I came from some sort of golden spoon kind of situation, and that was not the case whatsoever. My father was out of the house when I was 3, and I didn't really see him again until I was 18 years old. And during that time, I lived with my mother, who was a challenging person, and had to take care of all those duties. So, living the good life of watching that Ted Turner money roll in or that Vern Gagne money roll in was never really something I did. It was always, hard work that I was doing on my own. And I never held that against him. It's for the wrestling business. And when I was getting into it, because I loved it and I wanted to do it. And people tell you, it's going to be easier. Well, it's not, because if I went in and my name was Tim Johnson and, I displayed the talent I have and any skills that I have on a microphone, anything like that, they'd be like, oh, man, I'd probably hear some praise and some good criticism, bad criticism, things to work on, things to learn, because you're always kind of improving and learning. But when you go with the name Zbyszko, they go, oh, well, you must know everything. You must be really good. You must know how to wrestle. And the thing is, I have done, honestly, more top rope moves in the first year of my career than my dad's ever done in his life, which I believe was 0. And I believe he never once jumped off the rope, is what he told me. But I'm a different wrestler. I do know how to grapple. I do know how to shoot, wrestle, and hook and everything. But that's not my main forte. I'm aerial. I do more quick strikes, flying kicks. Momentum kind of things like that.
You're a lot smaller than what I remember your father being, though.
Oh yeah, I'm about 200 and 205 pounds. My dad was about 240 at his biggest, but he carried a weight of about 230 most of his career. And he was also, we're both trained in martial arts. That's something we did. But he was trained in more of like the jiu-jitsu style. I was trained in more of a kickboxing style. And that's, the big difference in what we both do. And, that's just another thing. People just suspect, aren't you going to be like your dad? And it's like, well, no, I'm my own person. I'm going to be like me. I'm going to be who I am. So it's hurdles you have to overcome. And then there's people that don't want to accept, what you're doing. And they believe that, you should just be, what your father was. And that's not true at all. And I've started to earn respect over the last year or so from people going, well, you've always got a good attitude and you've always been really nice, and that, people have started noticing, oh, yeah, that's right, you did carry rings around and you did do this. And it's just changing the perception, and I don't want people to think that I just came into the wrestling business and shut up and put on a few pounds and was like, okay, I'm here, give me the belt, give me the main event. You know, it was all worked for and it was earned, and I think any promoter I've worked for would tell you that I'm a professional. Anybody I've ever worked with in the ring will tell you that I'm, again, a professional, and that's what's important to me. And that's why when somebody said to me, oh, your last name, that's your last name, I got really mad about it, because that means basically they're not taking into credit anything you do. Anything you do in life, you want respect for if you do it right, if you do it well, and you work hard at it. So if people want to take that away from you and disregard what you've done through ignorance or through stupidity or through whatever they want to call it, or ego, you have to stand up for yourself and make a case, and that's where this all kind of came from. So being a second generation wrestler is great, but it comes with, it comes with a lot. It comes with knowing, where you are, who you are in the business, and what that name means. It means that I have to be professional, but everybody should be. The name shouldn't determine it. It means that I should work hard. Everybody should work hard. Again, these are all common sense kind of a thing. And so that's just some of the things that have gone on being a second generation wrestler today.
Right. Yeah, I'm sure like Kurt Hennig didn't get talked to like that when he was coming up.
Who knows? I don't know what he's doing. For a while, there was McGillicuddy and Axel. There was Hennig before. Hennig, there was another Hennig. I mean, wrestling goes down through generations for a reason. It's because it's a beloved thing, and it really runs in the blood to be that kind of a person. It takes a certain kind of a person to want to engage in this activity. And people. I think there's a lot of great wrestlers that feel that they've been there longer than you or something, and they might feel disrespect or an overlooking because someone comes into the name and will receive immediate attention. But I don't think they understand that is what's best for the business. That is what's good. People want to hear about second generation wrestlers because they still feel that special attachment to the person they grew up watching. Now they get to see their son. It's like the Mannings in football. People grew up watching Archie Manning, and then his sons played football, and that's just exciting for them to see, go down and the talent level increase. And there's things that I can do that my father never did. And a lot of fans have told me they love watching me do things that my dad never did because it's an evolution, and that's important. Evolution is important in everything, and so it's fun. Right? It comes with pitfalls and cliffhangers and things, but that's kind of fun. Let people know that it's not a free ride. You have to put in a lot of work. I've been injured several times. I've been working shows as an announcer and not working shows, just carrying rings till 3 in the morning. And so it's it's not just to show up and here's the money. You don't have to do anything.
All right. Now, when you mentioned that you were working as an announcer, did you ever sport like the tuxedo like Howard Finkel did or things like that?
Well, luckily for me, I didn't own a tuxedo. I didn't have to deal with that part, but now I do. But I haven't had to use the tuxedo at all. But hey, are you still there?
Yeah, I'm here.
Okay, great. Just making sure the phones work. I dress nice. I wear slacks, dress shoes, button down, the tie. I just the blazer part I just never felt like wearing, but no, I took it seriously. And on shows where I did most of my announcing was my training school, where we have the fortunate situation where we run shows once a month. So at those shows, people knew me, and then I got several jobs being announced at other places. And it was funny because people would, the promoters would be like, "Oh, cool, we got Tim Zbyszko," so they put on the flyer, "Larry Zbyszko's son will be ring announcing." And I just thought it was funny because it's like, people would be like, okay, great, who cares? I don't want to see somebody ring announce. I could care less who the ring announcer is. I prefer a hot chick up there. As would I. If you had told me that, hey, we canceled your booking because we have some hot chick ring announcing for tonight, I'd been like, great, I'm going to come watch her. That was always kind of funny to me, but a lot of those places that I did ring announcing for, like in McClenny and up in Jacksonville, years ago now. I've wrestled there for over a year, and people, I don't know if they forget or they just remember, oh, that's right, you ring announced and now you're wrestling, and so that's just kind of fun.
Have you ever thought of doing commentating at all?
I would love to. I would love to. One of my gifts is being able just to ramble on for a while, and I think when I'm in the right mood, I can do it pretty humorously. I think I'd be good at either one, play-by-play or color, but the color just seems so much more fun. I love when guys like CM Punk, who's just hilarious on commentary, when guys like The Rock would get on the mic and do commentary, Stone Cold. And then even my dad was a great wrestler, but he was great at commentary. He won an award one year, two awards actually, 2 different years for doing it. And he still does it frequently on legend shows and things. But yeah, I would love to commentate one day, but that day is probably far away unless I'm just guest commentating or, an opponent that I'll have later. But right now it's all in-ring focus.
Right. Now, have you had a chance to watch Raw recently?
I have not. Fill me in. What's been going on?
Well, the Wyatt family's wanting Daniel Bryan to join.
Well, he's got the beard for it, so.
Yeah, but I don't think it should. I mean, it really add It really adds somebody who's got the technical skills to their wheelhouse. Because right now the Wyatts are just brawlers, it seems.
You know what? When you said that, it made me think a little bit that I almost prefer them to be brawlers. I mean, when I watch that product, I love the Wyatts. I love the entrance. I love the whole thing about it. There's this movie called Cape Fear, and Bray Wyatt's character reminds me of Max Cady, which Robert De Niro did
I remember that movie. That was a good movie.
That's what it reminds me of. Oh, it's a great movie, yeah. But I love the brawler aspect, and maybe that group doesn't need Daniel Bryan because he is too technical. He is too clean. The Wyatts are dirty, nasty bayou boys, and it's kind of fun to have something dirty and nasty. It's like the Bushwhackers, evolved to a whole other degree.
I don't think Blackjack's grandson would like you comparing him to a Bushwhacker.
Well, he might not, but the Bushwhackers were a lot of people don't realize this, the Bushwhackers were international superstar wrestlers for a long time.
Yeah, they were.
Very respected. So, he might, as far as characters go, he might not, but the Bushwhackers are no slouch in the tag team division. I mean, they were good for a long time, traveling the world, ever before they got to the original WWF, which is now the WWE. But, I like the Wyatts. I like Daniel Bryan. I think Daniel Bryan, we had talked about this once before, I think he is someone that's so popular, and he'll be around that main scene for years, and whoever you put with him is going to look like a quality wrestler because he's so good and he's so easy to work with. My trainer has wrestled him several times, Ring of Honor. The best thing to say about his ability and his patience and everything. It's just a blessing to have guys like that. I think to an extent, Austin Aries is like that, where, he's just so easy to work with that it doesn't matter what you go in there with, you're going to have a fun match that entertains the crowd, and that's, I think, bottom line was most important.
Right. Whenever Evan Bourne gets off of the shelf, I'd like to see him be put into something with Daniel Bryan just to give him that push back up to where he was.
Evan Bourne is another one. It's funny you bring him up. He and my trainer are also very good friends. He's been by our school several times, not working or anything because he's been injured, but just teaching and hanging out. He's so amazing with his ability to do that aerial stuff that him and Daniel Bryan could probably do really, really good stuff together. And then I think we talked about this once before. I'd love to see a cruiserweight division brought back.
Oh yeah, definitely.
Definitely. A reformation of the belt system I think would be ideal too. So, I totally think Evan Bourne would be right in the mix of that with guys like Kofi Kingston. Daniel Bryan's so popular that he might be kept away from it, but at the same time, to engage in a feud with him for a quality belt, after a cruiserweight or call it light heavyweight, whatever you want to call it, I think would just be stellar. There's so many guys, even guys that are a little bit bigger, like what's the kid from South Africa, Justin Gabriel.
yeah, definitely. And plus you have Seth Rollins in there from ROH, who's...
Of course, yeah.
I mean, then there's, shoot, what's his name? I forget. Well,
What's he look like?
speaking of Spanish, I do have to mention this, and I'm surprised that they did it, was the fact that Alberto Del Rio was in a match with Sin Cara again, and I remember him saying that he would never work with that man ever again.
Well, I guess they settled their differences. That happens a lot in wrestling. Emotions run really hot. Like I mentioned in the previous segment, I got in a big argument. Me and the two other guys were never going to work again, and then 15 minutes later, we were in our match. So
Right.
that's how life is. You know, that's just. I think the best thing is squashing it for the better of the company and the better of the fans. So I'm sure they figured out whatever the issue was, and now they're working again. Sin Cara has had some bad luck. I mean, several injuries. Faulty equipment on his entrance. And in the meantime, he's just trying to be the same entertainer. And if you watch his tapes from AAA in Mexico, he's outstanding. So there's no reason he can't be outstanding in the WWE. It's just, when it clicks, it will.
Yeah, and I remember that name, Tyson Kidd. Tyson Kidd.
Tyson Kidd. TJ, it's funny you keep bringing up these guys. Again, another friend of my trainers who comes down to the Iceland Wrestling School. But Tyson Kidd is also hurt. Tyson and Evan, I mean, they put on great matches. Tyson and Daniel Bryan would be great. Tyson is an incredibly talented technical wrestler. Obviously going through the hard dungeon and things, but incredibly talented, very strong for his size. So I don't think a lot of people even realize that. The kid can bench about 400 pounds, so just a strong dude.
Right. So what do you think of this latest class of the NXT?
Well, the class, from what I hear from my father, has been doing some work with them at the training compound here in Orlando. He says they're good. They haven't figured out their top guys yet, I guess. They've got guys they push, but I think they're still trying to figure it all out. The WWE is such a big entity that they've got so many guys and trying to place them and see where their ability takes them, but I think they'll be good. I can't wait to get in the ring with them is all I keep thinking about, because I've been over there, I've met a lot of the guys, I've seen the setup, and it's just one of those things that whenever they bring new classes and they have tryouts, they have open tryouts in December and January, so I'm looking forward to taking part in those. And just, I can't wait to get in there, because I watch them and think there's none of them in there that are better than me, which I think you have to have as a professional wrestler. You have to believe that you're the best, or you want to be the best, because why else would you do it? So I see all the guys, they're all hardworking, they're all, of course, talented, but, I look at them and think I could outwork any of them.
Oh, that's awesome, man. Now, what'd you think of how Chris Hero got let go?
You know what? They had him there for a little bit. I think it was close to a year or something, and I probably just didn't fit in. They bring a lot of guys in, a lot of guys go out. They've got that Sami Zayn guy who I believe used to go by El Generico, and they're just trying different stuff. And I guess Chris Hero, the WWE is still very big on several factors that are kind of underlying. They want your look to be strong. You really have to resonate with the crowd, and I think Chris Hero did that, but his look was never that strong, and then he wasn't seeming willing to change. I mean, you look at Dean Ambrose, when he wrestled on the Indies, he looked completely different.
Oh, yeah.
If you look at him, if you look at him now, he's a big dude. He's worked out, he's got the muscles going, and you need that, because you have to be strong, you have to look strong. The crowd has to believe, they have to believe you can beat him up, I think, is what it is. I'm only about 6 feet tall, but I'm 205, and I've got good sized muscle. You have to believe the guy can beat you up. You really care. When you saw The Undertaker, people saw him coming down the ramp and were like, this guy's 7 feet tall. Yeah, he can kick my ass. And you believe it. With The Rock, the guy's 6'6", 250. You believe it. But guys like Daniel Bryan, you believe it because they're such powerful looking people, even though their size isn't that great. With Chris Hero, he's not the tallest guy, and he never looked that great. So I think it's hard for the crowd to look at him and go, I could probably beat that guy up. And you don't want that. When Hulk Hogan was the man, who was going to touch him? He's 6'7", 270, arms are bigger than everybody's, and you believe it. That's what you need, and that's what I think is missing with guys like him. The same thing with El Generico, Sami Zayn, that he's got such talent, but he looks not so imposing that will it ever really work? Maybe if they have a cruiserweight division or if he's in a tag team, but it might not work as a solo guy. And guys like Chris here and El Generico are so designed to be solo that it's hard for them to work in the WWE system. And if you don't adapt to it, you're not going to survive.
Right. Okay.
So how about TNA? Are you watching Impact? My friend SoCal Val and me will watch it once in a while. And I got to go back to Orlando, but I haven't kept up with too much. I know Aces and Aces done, thank God.
I haven't been because I don't want to get like deep into something and then the company just is done.
Oh, is that what you think might happen?
Yeah, that's what I'm thinking.
I heard they need a buyer. I don't know the deal exactly, but I heard they need a buyer. So we'll see. If I had the cash, I'd buy it. I can give them $500 right now, cash. I'll see if they want to do that.
That'd be funny.
I know, yeah. It'd be TNA. It'd be Tim's non-stop action wrestling. It'd be awesome. I might be the champion forever. We'll see.
You'll Vern Gagne it?
Maybe not. We'll see.
Now, I read somewhere that you're related to Vern Gagne. Is that true?
Yeah, I am. He's my grandfather.
Okay.
On my mother's, on my mom's side. Like I said, the wrestling roots run real deep in my family.
Yeah, it does.
The funny thing is, the funny thing is, no one else has wrestled. My Greg is Vern's son. He wrestled. But that's it, I'm like the only one. I mean, my brothers, Bob and John, are both young guys and good size, and they just have different things. My brother John just joined the Air Force, and Bob wants to be a musician. And then no one else on the Vern side really seems to want to do it either, so it's going to have to be up to, I guess, my kid to have to continue it. Because the Zbyszko name has been around for over 100 years now, and why not keep it going longer?
Yeah, because your father named himself Zbyszko after one of the first Polish wrestlers in the early 1900s.
Yeah, kind of paying homage in the family thing. There was a relation there, kind of a distant relationship, so it was okay. And then there's Stanislaus Zbyszko, there's a Vladek Zbyszko, and there was a Larry, and now there's a Tim. And it's, again, maybe one day when I have a son, there'll be a Mike or a Dan or a Nick or whatever I name him. And maybe we'll get one of them in there too to keep it going, because it's a name that has a lot of tradition behind it. You can look up Zbyszko and it goes back all the way.
And you could also have him he could also pick up the Gagne at any time.
Yeah, it's possible. It is possible, but I didn't go that route. I honor my father in that sense that, that's where I came from kind of more, and, he's been there. I know Vern well, but it's just too many names I could get back if I could.
Yeah.
The best guy stands out. It's hard to spell, but it's also hard to forget.
Yeah, I've had to explain to people that it's ZB first.
I've had to explain it to people as well, trust me.
I'm sure. Well, sir, I don't want to keep you too long because, one, you're driving, and two, I've got stuff I've got to do today.
Oh, that makes me feel really loved and wanted. Thank you. I'm glad you have stuff to do.
No, I have stuff.
Just messing with you.
I know.
That's cool. I love talking to you. I'll keep you posted. I do have some news coming up that I can't talk about right now, but I'll keep you posted, and if we get together again, we can definitely highlight some of that stuff, because that's some exciting new stuff going on. So.
Right on. I did want to tell you that I did start DDP yoga not too long ago.
Oh, it works for Scott, and it works for Jake, so how's it working for you?
It's okay. I mean, I'm cussing DDP out every single time I work, but, it's been getting some good results.
Well, that's good. I'm glad to hear it.
All right.
How's, have you lost weight, or what are you doing? Are you doing the stretching and all the push-ups? I know there's a lot of movement involved with that.
Yeah, I'm doing it. I'm mainly focusing more on the diet at this point. Because if I can get the diet down, I can do the workout a lot better and get a lot more out of it.
Well, that's good. That's good. No, I wish you the best. You gotta send me some before and after photos. You got my email.
All right, man. I might even put them up on Twitter someday.
You know what? I will favorite and retweet that if you do.
All right, sir. Well, you take care of yourself and drive safe.
Yeah, I love the Bluetooth thing. It's hands-free. It's like, I probably look like a crazy person to everybody else, but just in here talking to myself.
You know what? Screw 'em.
Exactly. Screw 'em.
All right, man. You take care.
All right. Thanks, Tim, for all that you gave us. Not going to give you not much fanfare into the next interview. We give you ROH's Bobby Fish.
Ladies and gentlemen, the Heel Turn Progress proudly present to you one half of the Ring of Honor World Tag Team Champions and one half of Red Dragons. Ladies and gentlemen, I give to you Bobby Fish. Bobby, welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Welcome, welcome, welcome.
Welcome, sir. And
Welcome it is. You are welcoming one half of the co-main event of Final Battle.
Heck yeah, man.
That's awesome.
Bobby, can you give our listeners some background surrounding the history between Red Dragons and Outlaws Incorporated? Like, what's the backstory with these two tag teams?
They popped up a few months back, and right out of the gate, they kind of just jumped into the mix with us by breaking Kyle's finger. And ever since then, neither of us care to be in a room with them all that long enough to figure out what exactly their deal is, why they're in Ring of Honor, what they're even doing back. I mean, I can't even remember the last time Homicide was relevant in the company, and the same could be said for Eddie Kingston. I don't know, maybe with Chris Hero coming back to the Indies or whatnot, maybe Kingston thinks he'll get another shot at Hero by coming back to Ring of Honor. I have no idea, frankly, and I'm a bit put off by the fact that Ring of Honor would allow them back into the mix, and to put them across from us at the biggest show of the year for us, at Final Battle is a bit crazy to me, but the fact is Kyle and I fear no one, and as gangster as we are, being the pride of Saratoga and the pride of St. Louis right now, respectively, and we fear no man, and we will take on anyone who they put across from us, and we'll do the same thing with Outlaw Inc.
Well, I've spoken with Eddie Kingston recently on Pro Wrestling Smart Talk, I believe about 2 weeks ago, and he stated in the interview, and I quote, that the Red Dragons are nothing but an example of what the corporation wants. They're not an example of what the fans want.
Well, first and foremost, specifically if you are quoting him, the name is Red Dragon, not Red Dragons, which it doesn't shock me that you are quoting him and he is incorrect, because he's done that on live TV as well. There is no F at the end, but that's neither here nor there, I suppose. As far as us being what the corporation wants, Kyle and I, we abide by no one's rules but our own. I've said it before, and I'll say it right here, that if I wanted to follow the rules, I would have made them up myself. So I think he's certainly mistaken when he claims that we are what the corporation wants. I think that they're looking for a cause. They're looking for a reason to fight. I don't know, maybe their love of pro wrestling has waned and their love of competition
dropped off over the years, and they need an extra reason to get out of bed in the morning. But Kyle and I certainly don't need that, and the fact that they need to label us as something that is easy for them to hate is just proof that they've lost a step, and we are not the guys you want to step into the ring with if you are not at the top of your game. So they have made a grave mistake heading into Final Battle, and Kyle and I will certainly go out and prove that on Saturday.
What would be your and Kyle's strategy when you face Outlaws Incorporated this coming weekend? What would be your strategy, and what would be your approach heading to the match?
Strategy is the same thing it always is. I mean, it's just Kyle and I, we work harder in between these shows, in between matches. We work harder. We put in more hours, I like to think of it as sweat equity than anybody else in this business. And then come game day, when it comes to Final Battle or it comes to any other show for Ring of Honor, anytime that we step in the ring, somebody's got to pay for all of the hours that he and I have put in that other people don't. All the hours that I've taken away from my family, that Kyle takes away from his beautiful wife, doing the things that are required to be the team that we are, and somebody's got to pay for that. And Outlaw Inc. pays for that on Saturday, like many have done before them, and like many will do after them. So long after we stop talking about Outlaw Inc., Red Dragon will continue with those belts and continue to carve out what is becoming a mythological history amongst tag teams in this business.
Awesome, and before we talk about the rest of the Final Battle card, who's been the toughest opponents that Red Dragon has faced so far as ROH World Tag Team Champions?
I would have to say, I don't know. That's a difficult question, but I think that I would think that you'd have to go with the facts, and the facts would be the Hooligans.
Okay.
If you're going with concrete results, you've got to say the Hooligans. But much like everything else, Kyle and I seem to right every wrong that comes our way, and we did the same with that. But I don't know, man. There's so many. I really am reluctant to pick one, but because there was a time that those belts were removed from around our waist, and that the Hooligans were the ones primarily responsible, or at least in the record books, that's what it'll say. Right. Personally, I feel like Nigel McGuinness and the American Wolves had quite a bit to do with that. So it was almost like 5-on-2 to get those off from around our waist. And proof of that would be the fact that nobody's been able to do it since. But if you're going to look at the record books and they're going to mean anything, which I believe they should, I gotta go with the Hooligans.
Okay, awesome. And just to talk about the rest of the card at Final Battle 2013, I just want to get your opinion on the main event for the ROH World Heavyweight Championship. Adam Cole versus Michael Elkin versus Jay Briscoe. In your opinion, who do you think will come out on top in that three-way match for the world title?
Well, anytime there is a match involving myself or Kyle O'Reilly, the answer is obvious, because the winner would certainly be one of the two of us, if not both of us. At the same time, if it's even possible within the rules, regardless, and if it's not, then we could always change the rules and make sure that outcome was able to take place. Given the fact that we are not in this match, I guess I'm forced to wager an opinion here. This is what you're asking for.
Yes, sir.
All right. Having been in the ring with all three, I'm going to put my money on a close one, but I'm going to put my money on Cole.
All right.
Put my money on Cole, and the reason why I'm not putting it on Briscoe is because Jay, with this new belt, this championship, this title that he has begun to bring around with him, I gotta wonder where his focus is at, because this is just a really strange exercise in God knows what. So I'm gonna go with Cole. I think the hype train on Elgin is certainly justified. But Cole proved in the past that he's got Elgin's number, and I think he's still got it.
Awesome. And real quickly, can I get your thoughts on the World TV title match between Matt Taven and Tommaso Ciampa?
I think Taven's taken it. I think Taven is becoming one of the again, if we go back to concrete facts,
right?
The longest, as of today, or yesterday, or some day this week, he's the longest reigning TV champion in company history.
And no one survived the hoopla. That's the problem.
There you go. Well, one way or the other, he's been able to not only obtain the gold, but retain the gold for this long. And that, to me, that's proof. I mean, the fact that you have the gold around your waist, that's what means something in our sport, is by being able to put one of those over your shoulder, around your waist, whatever you want to call it, and then on top of that, being able to retain it time and time again. And proof becomes something over time that I don't think people can argue with. And Taven's certainly proven that, much like Kyle and myself,
right.
Much like Adam Cole is beginning to do. There's something to be said for being champions. I think it's been lost over the years in our industry. A lot of things have clouded it. But at the end of the day, the best in the business are the guys that have the gold, and there's a reason for that. And it's nothing against Tommaso, and it's not that I don't believe Tommaso has the ability himself to be a champion, but I just think Taven right now is operating on a level that few will obtain, and few will ever see. It's a similar level to that of Kyle and myself, and Cole beginning to scratch that surface also. I don't know. To me, that's the proof.
All right, awesome. And one more thing I want to ask you about Final Battle 2013 is the stretcher match between Mike Bennett and Mr. Wrestling Kevin Steen. And I believe the stipulation for this stretcher match is the loser must stop using their power driver. We see how devastating Mike Bennett could be with his power driver, and Kevin Steen, of course, have his small package power driver. Who do you think will walk away from that stretcher match coming up this weekend?
I would say that I think the pile driver should be banned all the way across the board. It's certainly not a match that you are going to see me sign up for anytime soon. As far as who comes out, who walks away from that thing, personally, I don't care if either of them do, really. Neither one factors all that much into what I have going on Saturday. So, they can pretty much do whatever they need to do to each other.
Okay.
Like I said, I'm not signed up for a pile driver match anytime soon.
Exactly. And speaking of tag teams, the Young Bucks, who are the current IWGP Junior Heavyweight Tag Team Champions, who had great success over in Japan a couple of weeks ago, will be facing Adrenaline Rush. Can I get your opinions on the Young Bucks and this whirlwind of success they've been on in the last several weeks, just coming back from Japan?
The Young Bucks are just, they're a couple of guys who just have a knack for getting people excited. People tend to be excited watching them, talking about them, having, hearing about them. They are just guys that tend to bring excitement into the room, and they're certainly a capable tag team. I mean, more than capable. And to go over to Japan and have success like that, having experience in Japan myself, I know how difficult that is. I know what it takes to get over there and to do something, to accomplish something like they did. I don't think their experience in Japan is overly extensive, so to have success like that this early on certainly says a lot for them, and to carry titles like that, that gives them a credibility that few foreign teams may ever experience. And personally, I think it's the perfect scenario for a title versus title situation. I mean, the Young Bucks versus Red Dragon. Actually, let me rephrase that. Red Dragon versus the Young Bucks should sell out any show. Somebody needs to book it. I would love to see Ring of Honor book it. I would, if not, love to see New Japan book it. PWG can book it. Christ, I don't care who it is. Somebody book it, and we will make that happen. And obviously, Red Dragon retains and becomes double champions. I mean, what could be better?
Heck yeah, man! I totally agree.
I just have a quick question, Bobby, about now you say that you don't approve of the pile driver being used as a move. Is there any other moves that you wish that weren't in the wrestling world these days?
I think the injury prevalence with the pile driver is well documented, and it seems to happen. I'm not just talking about our company. I'm talking about the industry as a whole, and for me, I've got 2 children, and my goal, my most paramount concern each time I go into that ring is to leave that ring retaining the ability to pick up my children and play with my children and run with my children and enjoy life the way that I do now, which is I've just always been a person who identified myself with physical activity, and to run the risk of that. Every time we step into the ring, we run the risk of that being taken away from us. And I don't know. There's just a documented history of that particular maneuver resulting in mistakes, resulting in maybe I don't know. You can't tell if there's malicious intent on somebody's part, but there seems to be with that maneuver in particular an issue. And if that's the case, I don't want to get anywhere near it myself.
Right.
So if there's a way for me to control my proximity to that thing, well, then I'm going to stay way the fuck on the other side, and that's my prerogative. Everybody else, you do what you need to do, but that's just my feelings.
Yeah, I think anybody can.
I don't think it's necessary. I don't think we need it. I think this business can go on without it. I think this business can do. It doesn't. That is not required for this business to be good.
Agreed.
Agree, sir. And Bobby, one last question here. I got to ask you this question. I got to ask you this one. Let me get your take and your opinion on the whole Ring of Honor Davey Richards situation that has developed over the last several days.
I think that the history between Davey and I has been well documented within Ring Ring of Honor. He and I had never seen things eye to eye. After the match that we had in Dearborn, I think that's the closest that he and I have come to common ground. And even after that, things were very strained. It's just always kind of been personal between the two of us. The two of us. So I don't know if, which makes it even more ironic that Kyle and I end up tagging together. But for me to comment on the situation with Ring of Honor would be somewhat difficult because I don't know if I, being honest, can say that I can remove personal feeling from the situation. And my personal feelings on Davey has always been that he's just ego-driven and it's just not good for things. He's a me guy. He's looking out for number one at all times, and that was always kind of my bone of contention with him. That was part of the reason why I came into the Ring of Honor and kind of took up the cause a little bit on Kyle's side, and dating back to, I have a history with Eddie Edwards as well, and felt like Davey was somebody who took advantage of Kyle and Eddie Edwards, who were both people who I counted as friends.
Mm-hmm.
And I personally was sick of seeing it, and then coming in the Ring of Honor, I took my opportunities to let that be known in as many ways as possible, and that's kind of what I did. So with the current situation, I don't want to say that I told you so, because it's not like that was that anybody was asking my opinion or I was there to warn anybody. But I think that he's gone out and in some ways proven exactly what I was saying. As far as his history with the company and whatnot, I guess that's their bad.
Right.
I hate cliches, but there's the one about burn me once, shame on you. Burn me twice, shame on me. I mean, Ring of Honor has been down a similar road, maybe more than twice. So,
wow.
I don't know if it's shame on you or if it's shame on me after the second time around. Christ, Ring of Honor, I don't know where they've ended up, because this seems to have been like 3, 4, maybe 5 times now.
Wow. All right, right on, man. Can you tell our listeners how they'd be able to catch Ring of Honor Final Battle 2013? I know Mike Bennett, who I spoke to a couple of days ago, mentioned that Ring of Honor was kind of up in the air on whether or not this will be a live stream pay-per-view or not.
I know we were done with that as of a couple of months back, and then there was, I don't remember the show, but recently we did one, and it kind of came without notice. I don't remember which one it was. It was one of our bigger shows in the last 2 months. So my guess would be that they're doing the same thing that they did for that one. Unfortunately, the details of that escape me right now.
Okay.
I don't know how. I assume whatever the normal streaming process is from the Ring of Honor website is how you would go about doing that.
Okay. Awesome, man.
I come on this totally unprepared.
No, you're fine, man. You're fine. I'm pretty sure our fans would go to ROHWrestling.com. They want to obtain more information about Final Battle 2013.
Yeah, ROHWrestling.com, and then also to kind of redeem myself here, I will release a link to whatever the way is to obtain the stream for Final Battle. I will post a link on my Twitter account, which is the Bobby Fish. I'll post that as soon as I get word as to what exactly will be the preferred method.
Awesome, dude. Thank you so much. And Bobby, thank you for spending time with us this evening. We really do appreciate it, my friend.
Cool. Thank you for having me. I enjoyed myself, so anytime.
Awesome, and I hate to say this before you go. I'm really leaning towards Outlaw Incorporated to defeat Red Dragon. I'm sorry, my friend.
No apologies necessary. I mean, it was gracious of you to invite me on your show, and I apologize, but I have to disagree, and I have to,
what's wrong with you?
Be the one to inform you that you're wrong. You couldn't be any more wrong. You could probably put money on anything on that card. Other than this one, it's 100% wrong. Kyle and I are way too gangster for these two jokers.
Well, you know what? If
our company and think that they're going to that they've got anything for us, because they don't.
Bobby, if you and Kyle want to double team on Nick, I'll hold him down for you.
All right. Well, hey, if Nick, will you be in New York City this Saturday? Are you going to be in attendance?
No, sir, I will not be in attendance. I will not be in New York, but if I was able to, trust me, I will hold up a sign. I will hold up a sign just to get you and Kyle's attention. I'll be that guy.
Okay. Well, you are probably fortunate that you won't be there, because then this way we don't have to bring you in the ring and embarrass you in front of a sold-out Hammerstein ballroom. But instead of embarrassing you, we will embarrass Homicide and Eddie Kingston, and we're going to take great pleasure in doing so.
Dude, I'm a straight-up wrestling fan. You can embarrass me anytime you want. I probably will welcome it. Graciously. I will take a butt kicking for Red Dragon. I will. I will take a butt kicking.
Well, I didn't say that we were going to kick your ass. I just said we were going to embarrass you. Now, that could cover a lot of ground.
Oh, that's true. That's very true. Well, Bobby, thank you for joining us all tonight.
Yes, sir. My pleasure.
You stay blessed and good luck this weekend.
Totally,
Okay,
man.
thank you very much. You guys have a good night.
You do the same.
You too.
Thank you, Bobby, for your time. Moving along, we're going to hit you right now with interview with Shane Strickland.
All right, appreciate it.
Ladies and gentlemen, up next here on the Heel Turner Podcast, we give you our exclusive interview with Combat Zone Wrestling Superstar and the #1 contender for the Combat Zone Wire Championship. Ladies and gentlemen, I give you the man himself, Shane Strickland. Shane, welcome to the Heel Turn Podcast, my friend.
Hey, it's good to be here.
Awesome, dude. We're glad to have you on tonight. Thanks a lot.
Appreciate it. No, thank you.
Awesome. Shane, can you give our listeners some background into your match with Alex Colon coming up this Saturday at Cage of Death 15 for the CZW Wire TV Championship?
There's a lot of background. It actually goes far back as before I was even in CZW. It was about 3 years ago, actually. I moved from, I was trained originally in Virginia, Richmond, Virginia.
Mm-hmm.
So when I moved up, I had some connections with Greg Excellence promotion and called Groundbreaking Wrestling in Hanover, Pennsylvania. And that was my first match up north in the Pennsylvania area that I've ever had, and it was against Alex Colon. So it was pretty much destined that me and him were gonna have some battles later on somewhere along the line, because that match right there, it set the tone for like myself and Alex. Like Alex was already established at that point in the area,
Right.
but it really set the tone for like, we gotta start watching out for this guy, Shane Strickland, and that gave me a lot of steam. And so meeting him in CZW, we pretty much kept that same type of steam going from way back then, and it's never slowed down. And it's just this entire year of 2013, that steam has just kept growing, just getting bigger and bigger and bigger and bigger, leading up to Cage grown and grown to a point where we're going to settle this now, this weekend.
All right, awesome, dude. And can you tell us what would be your strategy heading to this TV title match with Alex Colon? Because Alex Colon is a tremendous wrestler, and so far been a very great Wire TV champion. What would be your strategy, and what would be your approach heading to your match this coming weekend?
My number one strategy is definitely watching my back, because every encounter I've had with them, there's always been somebody getting involved. So going into this, I'm already expecting him to use help with his Murdered Row crew,
Okay.
with Azrael Vito and especially Chrissy Rivera. Every singles match this year, I've beaten Alex Colon, but for some reason when it seemed to be a higher stipulation, he's always found some way to try to sneak one on me and got the win over on me. So like at a best of the best, he had my double stomp move doubted. So when he countered that, he pretty much cheated and pulled my tights then, and he pretty much had the ladder match scouted as well. So he was able to sneak that and get the Wire title now.
Right.
With that. So, and the times that I beat him this year, he's had help from Chrissy each time. So this time I know that he will be looking for help. I'm going to be expecting that, and I'm going to be anticipating it as well.
All right, awesome. Oh, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Oh no, so my strategy is basically to watch my own back, because like as much as I've helped out AR Fox and we've been cool, he has this thing, he has like his own thing going on.
Mm-hmm.
As he okay to death, so I know that I'm going to have to be going in there by myself and watching my own back with this one.
All right, awesome, dude. And speaking of Murder Row, I see that they're going to be challenging for the number one contendership for the tag team titles against the Beaver Boys, Alice Reynolds and Johnny Silver. Do you think Murder Row has what it takes to defeat the Beaver Boys and potentially go on to become CZW World Tag Team Champions later on down the road?
I believe they do. I believe both teams actually have the potential, because they've had two just match of the year candidate tag team matches this year, and they're one and one apiece.
Okay.
So right now, this is the one that's going to get them to the championship. And right now, it's pretty much up in the air for either team. Both teams are extremely talented. They know each other. They're good friends. Both teams in themselves just have an extreme amount of chemistry, because they've been wrestling with each other for so long. And now both opponents, they know each other probably even more than they know each other's teammates.
Right.
Which is scary. So this could go either way. Both teams have all the advantages of the world because of the knowledge they have on each other. So this can go either way.
All right. And speaking of the World Tag Team Championships, Blackout, Ruckus, and Black Z's, I hope I'm pronouncing his name right, will be facing my favorite tag team, Juicy Product, JT Dunn and David Starr. I love both of you guys. I've been following them in various promotions, and I'm a huge fan of this tag team. Give us your thoughts. Who do you think will come out on top? Because personally, I'm really cheering for Juicy Product to win the tag belts.
I am going to go with Juicy Product on this one.
Yeah.
I know they don't have as much chemistry as Blackout's had, because Blackout's been tag team champions for CZW and other various promotions as well for years now, and they've been once again, they are pretty much CZW tag legends. But I honestly believe there's only one thing that can mean the difference between a win and a loss in any
Mm-hmm.
And that's determination, which is what I see from JT Dunn and David Starr. I see like a lot of determination with those guys because they work hard to be to where they are. I've always been referring JT Dunn to owner DJ Hyde for a year now.
Mm-hmm.
He's one of my good friends. David Starr is one of my best friends in this wrestling business, and I know him personally for being on the road with him,
right,
living with him. Like, I spent hours, days, weeks, months with the guy, and I can honestly tell you there's no more determined person that I know in this wrestling business than David Starr himself. And when he sees a prize, when he sees something that he wants, he's going to want to keep fights tooth and nail to get it.
Right.
And judging and seeing how JT Dunn has just been on he's been on such a hot streak lately.
Oh, yeah.
Competing against Ring of Honor's Mike Bennett this past weekend.
Yeah, that was an incredible match.
Gargano, facing off against Michael Elgin. He's just been on such a hot streak, and I believe that's going to carry him and David Starr to the CZW World Tag Team Championship this weekend.
All right, and I know earlier you mentioned about AR Fox. He will be competing in a showcase scramble against Andrew Everett, Len Dragon, Chris Dickinson, Chuck Taylor, and Willie Mack. Do you think AR Fox have the skill set to come out on top in that scramble match? Because I know you competed in a scramble match in order to become, I believe, #1 contender for the TV championship. Do you think AR Fox have what it takes to come out on top?
Oh yeah, that, like, hands down. Like, there's a lot of amazing talent. It's awesome to have Willie Mack coming back from California. We haven't seen him since Best of the Best last year with Sami Callihan winning, who's Solomon Crow now.
Right.
But AR Fox is another really determined person, but he always fights against the odds and always comes out on top somehow. I've competed in several scramble matches with AR Fox, and that's pretty much his calling. That's where he's made his career from, winning those multi-man matches.
Right.
And so I honestly wouldn't doubt it. He'd be my favorite in that match. And he'd honestly be my favorite in that match coming up this Saturday.
All right. Awesome. And real quickly, for the CCW World Heavyweight Championship, Drew Gulak versus the returning Chris Hero, and anyone who follows Combat Zone Wrestling know the history of these two. It's almost like teacher versus student. What's your opinion on Chris Hero's return to the Indies?
He's coming home. He's coming home, and just like in any sport, when you come back home and you want to prove to why you were the top dog there. And I believe Chris Hero's coming back to show everybody he's the top dog. He's the savior of CZW, and I think he wants to make his statement like right off the bat. His first time back, he wants the CZW title, and this is just a story, like one of those storybook moments that you can't like really write until like it happens. Like him coming back to face off one of his best students, and Drew Gulak, who's been a phenomenal CZW champion in the time that he's had it thus far since August. And Drew, another person who's just been tearing up, is on an extreme hot streak right now.
Oh yeah.
These are just two guys who are the king of the mat, the king of like groundwork, submission specialist. Chris Hero being favored, I believe, in the striking department, but I believe Gulak's a fighting champion. I believe Gulak and what he's doing with the campaign right now is just brings so much momentum. He has just so much momentum going into this, and it's going to be hard for Hero to just come in and ruin this whole momentum swing that he's having. But it's also going to be difficult for Gulak to ruin Hero's homecoming. So if I had to choose one of the opponents, I would probably honestly take the experience over the talent. So I would honestly, I'm going to go with Hero on this one.
All right. And the main event, the highlight of Cage of Death 15, the Cage of Death match itself, the Nation of Intoxication versus Drew Blood, Matt Tymont, and Ron Mantis and Roy Mondo. Can you set this up for us? Can you describe to our listeners who probably never seen a Cage of Death match before what the match is like and what type of intensity will be brought to this very unique type of matchup?
I would honestly say it's the innovation of ultraviolence. Every Cage of Death every year, everyone is always so innovative. It's always groundbreaking. You always see something new. You always see something different. You always see something more violent. This Cage of Death is going to be no different from any other one. It's going to impress. It's going to show a lot of pain, and it's going to show how tough all 7 of these guys truly are, due to the simple fact of how much pain that they can take, how much they're willing, and it shows a lot of dedication, how much pain they're willing to endure to compete in such a gruesome, ultra-violent match like this. Last year's Cage of Death was mind-blowing with DJ Hyde versus Matt Tremont. We're going off the top of the cage through 3 panes of glass to the floor.
Oh, jeez.
And
Ouch. No, thank you.
I truly don't doubt seeing something very similar or more innovative this year.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to be incredible. It's going to be like nothing else.
Awesome, and I got to get your opinion, Shane, on Davey Richards being in action at Cage of Death 15 this weekend. He was originally scheduled to be at Ring of Honor Final Battle 2013, but given his unique situation with Ring of Honor, he will be in action with you guys this weekend up in New Jersey. Can you give us your overall thoughts on Davey Richards coming in, competing this weekend?
He's just another person that adds so much more star power to the lineup already. With Chris Hero's return being so monumental as it was, bringing in Willie Mack being huge as that was, adding Davey Richards again makes it just that much better. It's truly, CZW is truly one of the greatest independent promotions in the wrestling industry today. Just because we bring in the top talent and we create the top talent on the industry that go on to do other things, international stars, nationally broadcasted television stars. Davey Richards just comes in and it's awesome to have him back since last year when he wrestled Masada for the heavyweight title.
Mm-hmm.
Of infamy. So he was always I was told that he was very motivated to come back to CZW, and so he couldn't pick a better date to come than December 14th on Cage of Death 15.
Absolutely.
I'm not aware what he's going to be doing, who he's going to be competing against just yet. So everybody who watches and who attends the show is going to be in for a surprise with Davey Richards. So I'm really looking forward to that as well. I'm in shock and awe about what's going to happen. So that's another reason for viewers to order on CZWIPPV.com or onvideonow.com. You can start the pre-order now, actually.
Okay.
That's another reason to watch, to order, to come to attend in Fire Skate Zone in New Jersey, Voorhees, New Jersey. Another reason for them, too, because you don't know what's going to happen. Sometimes owner DJ Hyde will not put up certain things online for them to view, so people can be shocked, because that's one thing fans are missing right now in wrestling, period, is the fact that we're not shocked anymore. We feel like that the fans, I honestly feel like they know everything, and they can anticipate certain things that happen. But we love to they'll add that little surprise
Swerve.
Well, I had to get that out there. You're not going to get an interview without hearing that from me in this one. But,
awesome, man. And you basically plugged in the product. I was going to ask you how people are able to catch Cage of Death 15. You basically already told us. Basically go to czwrestling.com and click under the IPPV.
correct.
All right, awesome, dude. And can you guarantee us right here on the Heel Turn podcast that you will walk out of Cage of Death 15 as the new Wire TV champ?
It will. I guarantee it. I state that right now. You can quote me. You can record this, play it. Well, you are recording it. But I'll say this back to everybody else. And you have a sworn statement from James, King of Swerve, Strickland himself. That he will be walking out of Cage of Death 15, December 14th, 2013, the new CZW Wire Television Champion.
Awesome, dude. And how can our fans reach you via social media, Shane?
You can always find me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is at Strickland Shane. Just take my name, flip it around, at Strickland Shane. And on Facebook, Shane Swerve Strickland.
Awesome. Well, Shane, thank you so much for coming on with us tonight. And God bless you on this coming weekend. And we're pulling for you to defeat Alex Colon and become the new Wire TV champ, my friend.
Thank you very much. I appreciate the support not only for me but for the CZW itself.
Heck yeah, man. And tell DJ Hyde that the Heel Turn podcast said what's up. We talked to him about 2 or 3 weeks ago. Well, no, 4 weeks ago. We talked to DJ Hyde, and he's a great guy, and you got a great promoter, a great boss running that company, dude.
Indeed, we do. Happy to say I love working for my boss. Not too many people in the world can say that sometimes. I can honestly say I'm a great boss, and I love working for him.
Awesome, dude. And I have one more thing that just stepped out of my head. You got anything you want to say to Shane Big Al before we let him go?
I really can't think of anything. He covered everything that I wanted to know.
Heck yeah, man. Well, I had something in mind I wanted to ask you, Shane, but I can't think of it. But I can always hit you up on Facebook and ask you.
Put it on your blog.
I'll respond.
Well, thank you. Oh, yes. What's the score of the Bears game?
Oh, okay. Let me check this out right now.
Nobody cares.
Most of our wrestling fans are football fans.
I'm sorry for them.
What was that, sir?
It is 14-14 in the second quarter.
Are you?
4 minutes in the second quarter, 14-14.
Are you kidding me? Oh my goodness, it's still a tie. Oh, you gotta love the NFL.
Is that the one with the basket?
No, Al. I'm sorry. Big Al don't watch recreated sports, so I do apologize.
Oh, it's the one with the stick, right?
No, that's hockey.
Oh.
Well, Shane, you have a good night, sir.
You too. Thank you, guys.
All right, thank you.
Thank you, Shane. All right. Well, that pretty much does it for this edition of the Heel Turn podcast. I do have an announcement to make. After next week, we will be taking our holiday break off, and then starting in the new year, we're going to be switching formats to 2 shows every month for as long as I can do them. Join us next week for a really good show. And have yourselves a great one, and I'll see you around. Now get out of my ring.